David is a former sport climbing world champion and was here in Lebanon to make the first ever ascent of this 300-foot.
Lebanon is definitely a special place. It's somehow a little bit exotic, some place that you don't actually plan to go to as a climber because there's still very little known about the climbing here.
You hear about Lebanon in the media, you don't think about climbing or nature or activities, you only hear about war. Climbing in Lebanon is fairly new, but it's on the right track.
With the surreal setting similar to the landscape in the Oscar-winning Hollywood film Avatar, David and Chad agreed on the name Avatara for the 9A climbing route, the second hardest rank given to a climb.
When I walked in for the very first time into the Badara Gorge, I didn't care if this route was going to be 9A or 9B or if it was going to be 7C. I didn't care. I was just here to have a good time together with my friend Chad, and I was here to climb, to do the first climb out of the sinkhole. It's not very common that you get to such a stunning location and there's nobody been there who's ever climbed there. I mean, the sinkhole, it's an obvious climb, and so far there's been no one who climbed it. So you got the first knob in your right hand. To find a climbable line in this cave or in the sinkhole was actually pretty hard. The walls are incredibly steep and there are hardly any holes on it, so I was really not sure if there's a line that I could free climb.
Luckily, David found a very nice route.
I found this really beautiful line that climbs up to a perfect tufa, and then from the tufa has some really hard climbing to the lip.
It's on a place where we thought it was maybe too steep, or maybe it doesn't have enough features to have a route.
I found some really small holes in the roof, and then 2 cracks going out all the way through the head wall to the top out. I really had my doubts. I knew that all the moves are possible to do, but I wasn't sure if I could link them. So the first half of the climb up to the tufa is not too difficult, and you have kind of a good rest there, and then it's getting really, really steep, and you have just a couple of small holds and really complex climbing. I'm trying to make things perfect, simply because also the route requires it. On my final go, when I really climbed the route, I stuck that crux move for the very first time. I had really a hard time even doing that move as a single move. I at some point figured out that clipping all the quick draws, especially on the crux section, just requires too much time and energy. So I decided to skip the 2 bolts on the crux section and made a really big run out of it. And at some point I just knew, okay, I'm not gonna fall. I guess when it comes to climbs that are just this hard or that are this close to your limit, climbing is almost more an art than a sport.
I basically witnessed all of the hardest route being sent in Lebanon, but this is by far the first time I see a route this steep being sent. It's very exciting for sure. It's like being part of history.
The transition from an idea that you have in your mind to something that actually everyone can see. Now everyone knows that this line is climbable, and that's beautiful in my opinion.
David Lama, mission accomplished.